Welcome to the FN Studios. I am John Ramdeen alongside my pal Robin Black. UFC 205, a huge success. It went down at the famed Madison Square Garden. Tyron Woodley remains the 170-pound champion in a fight of the night against the Wonder Boy Stephen Thompson, who believed, even though the fight was ruled a draw, that he should have left the venue victorious.
It was a wonderful fight.
Amazing.
It was a beautiful, beautiful fight. Let's look at our scorecards. Let's take a look at what, and we're not experts, but John Ramdeen, Robin Black, and John Pollock all gave Woodley round 1, Thompson round 2, Thompson round 3, Woodley a 10-8 in round 4, and Thompson round 5. And this is the correct scorecard.
Yes, it is.
I think most educated people look at this and go, yeah, I think that's it. Now, some people don't give as many 10-8s, and they might not give the round 4. That would be Stephen Thompson winning. I think that's what Stephen is sort of trying to say, but I think this is what most educated people would call the correct scorecard.
When you look at that fourth round, and we're all giving it a 10-8 round, is Stephen Thompson looking at that round saying, hey, I wasn't even close to being finished in that? Yes, people look at my eyes in that fight when I was knocked down and that Woodley was on top, but there was no point that I was going out.
And that's cool for him to feel that way, and he has a first-person perspective, and that really might be his. But we have to, if we're the judge, we have to take the information that we've given. It's an imperfect science. There's human error. And we see his eyes roll back. We see him drop twice, and we see a tight guillotine. You can give that 10-8. There's human error, and then there's stupidity. And there are some judges out there that really are stupid. They're kind of assholes. And Doug Crosby is one of them. He is judge number 2 there. Now, this isn't just this scorecard where he gave a 10-8 for round 1 that no intelligent human. He'd have a million excuses as to why. You can go listen to him on Chael Song's podcast. You can watch a number of things with him. He's a bizarre, arrogant man who sort of pushes his opinion of himself and his arrogance and on Ray Longo, who he seems to have a hatred with. This is a terrible scorecard. Now, in the end, it came up with the right result, and the only guess I can have is he looked back after that first round and thought, nah, I shouldn't have made that a 10-8. Nobody would really make that a 10-8. I can't make 4 a 10-8 because I made a mistake in round 1, so I'm just gonna have to fix that and call that a 10-9. Now, if he sees this, he will say, that's not true. In fact, here are my reasons that the rest of the world is wrong. Everybody else who thinks round 1 was a 10-9, they were wrong. And everybody else who thinks round 4 was a 10-8, they were wrong. He will truly have an excuse as to why he made both of those incorrect things, and he's the only person who does it. But he's a bizarre human being, and he probably shouldn't be judging.
Do you feel, though, it's when you think about scoring and some of the officials that are involved, is the scoring criteria, is it a perfect science right now? Can we amend things to make it a little more fair, to be able to re-examine things? It's like, okay, I've looked at the 3 rounds or the 5 rounds, and based on my knowledge, this is how I'm going to judge them.
It's imperfect, and but all you can do is have the most educated people possible. When people like to sort of go off on crazy tangents, motivated by the fact that they know more than everybody else, the martial arts, especially the traditional martial arts, through the 70s and the 80s, there was a whole bunch of posturing. I'm the real karate, you're the fake karate, and the World Karate Federation is better than the International Karate Association. There was a lot of that, and I feel like some of these judges, and I think he's an example of that, are leftovers from this era of arrogance where my martial arts knowledge is way better than yours, and even though everybody else in the world saw that round 1 as a 10-9, they're all wrong, and I'm correct.
How do you think officiating will change over the years? Do you believe that more mixed martial arts fighters or trainers, after they're done competing in the sport, that they'll find their way into different commissions?
I think they might, but I think judging will get worse because the game is getting more and more complicated, much more complicated. And a lot of judges currently don't know what they're seeing. Not all. There's some great judges out there, but a lot of them don't know what they're seeing, and it's only going to get more complicated. The martial arts are changing rapidly. They're changing at an exponential rate. And if you don't understand it now, you're not going to you need the platform of knowledge now and then a continued growth in your ability to understand it. And most guys are just like, it's really cool. I get to wear this suit jacket and I get to be front row at the events and write my opinion and people pay attention to me.
You would expect, though, because of this fight being so close, being so exciting, we've already heard that the rematch is a possibility. Do you anticipate that's the next match for both guys?
I have a feeling Woodley, he after was like, I got to talk to my management team. That's weird. These guys have full teams now. But you know, that's the evolution of the business. But so it doesn't sound like that's what he wants immediately. But I think if he's honest with himself, he looks at it. It's like, let's go prove this, and he has the ability to do it. I want to see it again. Everybody does.
I'm sure if the Conor McGregor fight is offered up, he'll take that. The most money he's ever going to make in all of mixed martial arts. If not, hopefully, we'll get to see the rematch between him and Wonderboy.